So I thought I might make a video on answering the question, do you need to do front raises? And I really think it depends on someone's goal and on their condition, because a lot of times, just to give everyone kind of the foundation, a lot of times when people do a lot of resistance training and they're training their upper body with weights quite frequently, and they're already doing a tremendous amount of pushing exercises and stuff like that, a lot of times they're already hitting their anterior deltoid quite a lot. And typically what happens, if you're doing front raises on top of that, you're really overemphasizing a lot of stress on the front delt. And typically what happens then is it becomes overdeveloped. This isn't a really good example because my posture isn't very good, but typically what happens then is what happens is this front delt gets overdeveloped and the shoulders begin to internally rotate, and that's called kyphotic posture. And what happens then is the rear delts are not being nearly as emphasized as much, and the shoulders begin to like turn inwards basically, and which can put a lot of stress on the front delt and on the rotator cuffs and stuff like that, and it can set you up for injury if you're not careful. So what I recommend is probably not doing front raises, because a lot of times them front delts are being overemphasized. The only time I would suggest maybe doing them is if you've got really underdeveloped shoulders, or if you've got really overdeveloped triceps. Typically when people have really big arms, it kind of makes their shoulders look a lot smaller. And it isn't necessarily because their shoulders are small, it's just kind of like it's a proportional thing. Sometimes it just looks like that on the surface, that because their arms are bigger, their shoulders are smaller. So it's more of a proportional ratio thing with the muscles, I think. So for the most part, I would not say do front raises, because you're already hitting them, especially if you're training your muscle groups multiple times throughout the week and you're doubling up on your pressing exercises. You probably don't need to do them. Or even if as well you're doing like really high volume and you're just training everything once a week, I really think for the most part you probably don't need to do them. And like I said, because it's already being hit very, very frequently, and it's kind of adding to quite a big problem in a lot of weight training people, because that's usually the first thing that gets injured for a lot of people when they're in the gym. So just to prevent that, I would recommend doing more rear delt exercises. Obviously, yeah, training your back, but specifically training the rear delts. They get nowhere near as hit as the front delts. So just keep that in mind. And also, like I said, if you have got underdeveloped shoulders, or you have massive triceps, and your shoulders look a little bit more smaller in proportion to them, then yeah, go ahead, but just make sure again you're hitting them rear delts and making sure you're also doing some kind of rotator cuff exercises, some external rotation exercises. So hope that helps. Any questions, comment below, and I'll speak to you soon. Thanks very much.